Okay, so I've already started this pyramid calibration print, and excuse me, I'm doing this because I printed the iris box deals, and you can see they're just like super uneven layers, and there's zits all over the place. So I messed a little bit with the thin wall extrusion multiplier, and I played a little bit with my coast settings and my a little bit of the ooze control settings on Simplify 3D, and I just wanted to print this test piece to make sure everything is dialed in. And my assumption is that there's something going on with the geometry of the thin walls in this model that's causing my printer to act a little bit funny. Because normally, when I print things, I've had zero issues with really consistent layers and really good quality of my prints. So this is just kind of for me to get a sanity check on a model that requires retraction, that requires good, consistent layers, to see if that's going down evenly. And so far, it looks very consistent, very good. And so that's helping me troubleshoot to figure out why these silly little iris boxes are not printing as perfectly as they should. So yeah, we'll go through a couple different things that I changed on Simplify 3D after this print is done, and we're going to take a really close look at it to see if there are any imperfections, if there's anything we can make heads or tails about, any other changes we need to make. And if everything looks good, then we'll start, I guess, looking really closely at the actual thin wall behavior of Simplify 3D. Got a couple people in the live stream. AU says, hey man, thanks for joining. This is not super interesting. This is more just educational. I had some issues with the consistency of the extrusion on these iris boxes, and I wanted to make sure that my printer's printing up to snuff. Oh, we got someone, Gabriel Pavans from Brazil, checking out my channel. Thanks, man. Thanks for stopping by. And like I said, this print is not super interesting. It's just a calibration print. If you want to see some other more interesting stuff, you can check out some of my other videos on my channel. This one is just a pyramid. Nothing too crazy. AU says he's printing a fidget spinner. People just keep asking for them. Yeah, fidget spinners are slowly, I think, on their way out, but they are. I don't know. I think they're going to be around for a really long time, but they're definitely not as popular as they were. Gabriel asks, how much does an average 3D printer cost? That is a hard question to answer because just about every day some new printer or some new company comes out trying to push the lowest price envelope. Um, the way I answer that question is by giving some information on the printers that I have experience with. This printer right here is a Creality CR-10. Here, that's a pyramid. You see what it's doing. This is a Creality CR-10. I've modified it with a E3D V6 Hotend and a E3D Titan Extruder. Those are both premium products, and the only reason I did that was for the 3mm filament. Anyways, this is a good printer. You can get it for like $400 shipped, which is insane. Before this printer, I had an Ultimaker, which I got this a long time ago. I think it was like $1,200 when I got it, and it was a kit, and I had to put it together. But I just printed so much with it, it just kind of wore itself out. But I would say if you can get a decent printer, and this has a huge print volume, you can get a decent printer for about $400 or $500. Okay, enough of that. So I just really quick wanted to, while that's finishing off printing, explain to you why I am printing that. Let's see if I can get this set up so you can see. So if I open up my process settings, And this is Simplify 3D software, but a lot of the slicers have something similar. I was playing with my extra restart distance and my coasting distance. Those really, as you're playing with those, make a big difference in the blobs or zits. And I printed a bunch of these little like test guys, and I basically set different parameters for every one of those little column holes you see. So I basically fine-tuned my extra restart distance and my coasting distance by printing a bunch of these calibration deals and getting that to where everything looked really good. Once I had set that, then I went over to the advanced tab, and there's this thin wall behavior, because I think that's what's getting me in trouble with these iris boxes. There is an external thin wall type. That's not really what I'm dealing with. All the thin walls in the iris box are internal. And so here, actually, we're just gonna roll through this because we can. Okay, I'm gonna import iris box Rev 3, the latest and greatest. We'll get rid of this pyramid for now. Okay, so there's the iris box. Now I'll go ahead and slice it with thin wall behavior turned on. All right, okay. And we're gonna go ahead and turn on feature type over in the left side. And so that shows us there's this list up here, and that tells us kind of what feature is printing. And as we drill down into the layers, I'm getting this really weird artifacting. Let's see if I can find it. Right, okay, that was a good one. Nope, hold on. Oh, there it is, okay. So right here, you can see how there's an extrusion, which is green, and then the red line is travel. So I can turn off the travel, and those red lines go away. When I turn the travel back on, red lines come back. So it's doing this really weird extruding and skipping and extruding and skipping, and it's doing that because, oop, battery charged. It's doing that because this thin wall, the blue lines are perimeters, and the space in between the perimeters is not enough to throw another layer or another normal bead of plastic down. So what it's trying to do is modify that bead width, and I think there's something going on because this this shell is it's a circle and it's probably not perfectly concentric or whatever, and it's freaking out in between these. And I think that's a part of what's causing the weird issues with this print. Now, if I come back out and I go back to advanced and I go over to, okay, internal thin wall, and I'd say just do perimeters only. Don't do any type of special thin wall filling. And then I reslice it. You'll notice that there is no lines in between the shells. So like, there's no green line here anymore. And that's basically showing me that that one feature of Simplify 3D might be freaking out a little bit and causing some weird issues with these thin walls. So I'm going to get everything set up on the calibration pyramid the way, it normally prints. So I'm getting good print quality. Oh, sorry guys. I know this is like probably making you throw up, moving the camera around. But anyways, once I get this printed and I confirm the settings are good, then I can start playing more with the idea that the thin wall behavior is causing the super gross surface finish on these iris boxes. But yeah, so I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with that right now, and I just wanted to bring y'all along for the journey, because honestly, that pyramid is looking pretty good. I mean, it's definitely not having the quality issues that the iris box was having. Let me see if I can get you a little bit lower. So yeah, I mean, it looks good, but iris boxes look like poop, so trying to figure that whole thing out. So yeah, let's see if there's any comments. Nope, no new comments. Okay, well, hopefully the Simplify 3D thing made sense. But that's just kind of a weird thing that I'm dealing with. Also, I printed this, which is like a single thin wall, and that printed pretty consistently and pretty good. So all the tests that all the tests that I'm printing are coming out exceptionally well. I guess the next test that I'll be printing is a thin wall, something to kind of replicate these thin walls in here. I'll do a thin wall and then try and see if I can recreate these weird artifacts on the surface. Either way, at the end of the day, I just want to print the iris boxes and have them come out nice and smooth. Okay, Gabriel asked if I have a college degree. Oh yeah, I have a mechanical engineering degree. Went to Laterno University in Texas. Have you tried printing the milk crate thingy? AU asked if I've tried printing the milk crate thingy. AU, I have no clue what that is. Can you post a link maybe? Or like yeah, hit me up with a link. I'd be curious to see what you're talking about. Gabriel asks, why don't I make the walls of the iris box without the outer wall? I'm not sure what that means. So it needs this outer shell because that shell has pins that drive the iris leaves, the shutters, and hinge them out. Is that what you mean? Okay, no, he's saying like the inner wall. So the inner wall, like this one in here, that's also necessary because it also has pins that act as a hinge. So both the outside shell and the inside shell are absolutely necessary to drive the leaves of the irises. So, oh yeah, look at that. It looks terrible. Why? Why are you so bad? And then this comes out looking like a rose. I'm not sure what here. Let's pop this off. Let's take a closer look. So the smaller prints, they don't have a ton of surface area stuck to the print bed. I can pop those off while everything's still hot. But the other prints, like the goggles or the iris boxes, those I let cool off. So, okay, yeah, let's just... Hold on. I need to... We're going to look at this together. Okay, AU says just type milk crate in on Thingiverse. Okay, fair enough. Is the camera going to focus? There it goes, kind of. I mean, it definitely could be better, but that is pretty good considering, like, okay, so there is like where the seam is, and that is like way different and better than the Z seam and the zits on this one. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep poking it. I think it probably has to do with the thin wall behavior on this one. So yeah, this came out pretty good. I'm happy with the quality of that one, and even on the inside, the Z seam, you can see it there a little bit on the inside corner of that one. But that is like exponentially better than what we're getting results for on that one. So, okay, well, that's one more test down, helping me zone in on exactly what's going on. As I figure stuff out, I will definitely get y'all updated. All right, I will see you next time.